welcome to Leading Ladies, Leading Legacies. My pleasure to always be with you. I am Joy Ruffin. My work is as a leadership and signature style specialist, a personal development strategist, and so much more. But tonight, we're going to be talking about something that's coming up pretty soon, and that's a webinar that I'm going to be having. It's slated for February the 11th, a Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss this. Take a screenshot or a snapshot and join us there and register now. Oh my goodness, I have so many tools and tips to share with you. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. That's my guarantee and promise to you. In the meantime, today, you know that I'm always excited. I get excited. It's my DNA because I love the work that I do, the men and women that I work with. And tonight I'm bringing to you a lady that I'm more than fond of because I've known her for quite a few times. I met her in another great networking group, so many that we all belong to, right? This one was exceptional. I'm not going to throw out names today, but this lady is doing something that we all love, and I want you to meet her. But in the meantime, I want to tell you a little bit about her. Her name is Janet Gervers, and she's a website designer and more, much, much more. Branding, marketing. She's a creative director and founder of JAG, I love that name, Media, where she brings elevated designs to the people that she works with. Now, I could go on and on and on telling you about this lady, but all I want you to do, you know the drill, is just sit back and grab whatever makes you comfortable. Because when I bring her up in just a moment or two, I want you to really be comfortable and grab a pen and paper or a cocktail or a cup of coffee or tea and take notes, because we're going to deliver as briefly as we can some nuggets, tips, tools that will benefit you. One of the things that I love about this lady is that when I met her and then when we decided to do this, I loved her title, Turn Your Website into a Cash Machine. Why not? Learn what your website really needs. Because I've been back and forth with this website, so I really appreciate her. So friends, all you need to do is just sit back and relax and help me welcome our featured guest speaker today, Janet Gervers. Janet, come on up. How are you?
Hi, Joy. Hi, everybody. Great to see you and great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you here. You heard my introduction. I have been in this online presence for quite a while. And I had someone work it recently who did a stupendous job. But I attended one of your networking groups and I learned a lot that I wasn't aware of. So tell us a little bit, though, before we get going here, Janet, how did you get into this phenomenal, fantastic business, website designing? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah. So I started out as a graphic designer. That's what I went to college for. And this was a little bit in the pre-web days, if you will. And I just knew as soon as I heard about the internet and before I even really knew what it was, I was like, I'm going to be a website designer. So I moved to San Francisco in the mid 90s. And I was one of the first website designers. Some people say a digital pioneer. And I just love that work. So I brought in my design skills, websites, as well as technical skills. I am technically gifted as well. And I learned early on that if I wanted to have a good website, I needed to learn how to code it, because back then there were only a handful of people doing it. Okay, so fast forward to now, there are billions of websites and website designers. So, what do you do so that you can have that lead generation, client converting cash machine? That's what I'm here to talk to you about, because you know what? Your website is your 24/7 global online presence. People can see it, whether you're asleep, you're awake, you're out shopping or whatever, and you need to make it count because you don't have that much time these days. It's 54 seconds is the latest statistic. You have 54 seconds to get somebody to stay on your page and look around and see what you do. So it's not really that much time.
Oh my goodness, Janet, did you deliver? Oh my gracious goodness sakes. Because you said something that triggered for me, because you said the digital pioneer and you just knew the labels, the titles, they don't matter. I'm all about the cosmic change makers, which you're one. and you just knew that this was what you wanted to do. And 24/7, that site is available to everyone, and you want to make a good impression. Now, I'm about impressions in a different way, but impressions are impressions, and we can't get away from them. I love what you had to share with us because there's so much more to a website than most of us think. What do you mean when you say you want your website to bring you lots of business? Because that's what everybody wants. They want it to be.
That's right. Show me the money.
Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to websites, okay, there's 7 key areas that can help you to turn your website into that cash machine. And this is the thing. Oftentimes people think, okay, I have a website, it's done, and they just let it sit. No, you could do that back in 1995, but not in 2025.
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah. So you really have to pay attention and be strategic. That's the thing. You really have to be strategic about it. And this is whether you have a website now or you don't have one yet. So if you don't have one yet, take a listen here. I'm going to talk about 7 key areas. We may not get through all of them, so make sure to check out my social links, which will be there on the replay, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, yeah, if you want more. So if you're ready, we can get started.
Well, I think that's great, Jan, because I was going to go in a different direction, but I'm a good follower as much as I lead. So I like where you're taking us because today we're in the Insta society and everybody wants everything just like this. So, what are the 7 keys? Let's start off with what you gave me: layout and design. And as you go through this, I'm going to share with you some insights that I've gained over the years about my website and what I've learned from you that is strategic. So, let's start out with layout and design.
Yeah,
How do we
yeah,
go? And then
definitely. So this is the thing, like I said, you have 54 seconds to make that first impression. And it's just like style, like with you, Joy. It's like
Mhm.
when you come out with a fabulous outfit like you do, you make a great impression. You want to do the same thing
Right.
with your website because you don't have that much time. So you want it to be visually appealing. You want the navigation to be clear and easy to navigate your website. You want it to be clean and organized, not a million things being thrown at you in your face. You
Mhm.
want to strategically use that white space so that the things that you want to stand out are standing out. And really, when it comes down to it, consistent branding. And when I'm talking branding, it's visually speaking. So you have your fonts, you have your imagery. You want to make sure that these things are consistent throughout. So only 2 fonts. Don't be crazy with it and make sure that people can actually read the font. So oftentimes people use these scripty, cool looking fonts, but you just can't read it. Well,
Janet,
so 2
Janet,
fonts.
I can't help but interrupt you. I'm laughing in love, my lady, because when you said 2 fonts are sufficient, you see all of this curly Q stuff and all this stuff that's pretty, but you can't read it. It's not clear. So already you have my attention. Thank you for that, because most people get carried away with the aesthetics and the visual look of it, but they don't really understand the dynamics behind it. And I love the way you explained that to us. So thank you for that. 2 fonts are sufficient. Yes.
Yes, as well as 2 colors. So, as you can see here, you
Mm.
use purple and gold, which happens to be the same color palette that I use. I love
Yes,
that
those are
about you,
my, yeah,
Joy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
2. Yeah, keep it simple. And this is a thing. I've worked with, many clients over the years, and for those who it's their first website, this is really a
Mm.
key area for them. People oftentimes get confused and frustrated as, what to do, how to do it, and I make it really easy. And I'll be talking later about my Done With You course where, we get a website up in record time, and it's super easy for you to do that because I'm there to guide you through all the steps.
I
So,
think that's major. I think that's major. And having a guide, having a support staff, someone who's really there at your back always, because no matter how gifted and what your talents and skills might be, Janet, for me, I know some of mine, but I also know many of my shortcomings and where the weaknesses is. And that's why I don't have any issues surrounding myself with people who are much more enlightened, aware, and brilliant than I am at what they do. So we have to get away from this stuff where, blah, 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 and get to people who will support us. I love that. Let's leave that because there's so much information you have here, and I get it. We only have so much time. What about this call to action? You mentioned landing page and how you get people visually attracted. How do you get your websites to outline and detail the call to actions that are appealing and will bring in that cash machine. Where's the money?
Right. Right. So the CTA, call to action.
Yes.
This is you're showing your visitors how to take the next action, and you're mainly doing it through buttons and forms. So, for example, people found you today through a link on your website or on your Facebook page, and now they're here live or they are watching the replay. So that was a call to action and a very effective one. And you want to use action-oriented language that converts. So, schedule a call, get started today, download your free guide. So you might have some kind of a free ebook or report on your website that people can download for free in exchange for their email. That means you're adding them to your list and you are building your list. And that way you have another point of contact with people once you do that. And with those CTAs, calls to action, when it comes to buttons, you want to make them visually prominent. You want to have contrasting colors that stand out and using larger fonts so that it's easy to read. Now, it might sound simple, but a lot of people just do not do that. That, in addition to, if you're using a form, make it short so that your traffic doesn't drop off. So you can I have events, which Joy mentioned, JAG
Yes.
Media Gold Hour. People, when they sign up, they do their name and their email. That's 2 fields. That's it. So if you have more, people may drop off and they may not come to your event. So make it short and sweet.
That's great. I love that because simple, short and sweet, succinct with clarity is what we all are searching for. So I get that. But you mentioned something else, Janet, before we take a little reset here. I want you to mention, and that is content creation, because I know how important that is. And most of us, I know for me, when I started, I wasn't quite clear on the message I wanted to deliver. So when it comes to content creation, how do you work with others to have them give you more clarity so that you can give them the nuggets and tips that they need to get that right content?
Yeah, exactly. Well, one thing that I do that really sets me apart from other designers is that I take the time to get to know my clients. I want to know who they are, what their goals are, and we meet throughout the whole process while the website is being designed. Some designers will work in a vacuum. They meet you once, they design a website, and boom, there it is. And guess what? I've rescued a lot of clients who ended up with a site that they thought was just ugly and didn't represent them very well. So it's really important to communicate and connect. That is like step number 1. And as for content, I'm there to guide you through what kind of content you actually need. In terms of imagery, I am gifted with that intuitive spirit of being able to find the right images for my clients that connects with their target audience. And when I say target audience, those are the people that you want to talk to. It's not everybody. And if you think it's everybody, your website is not going to be effective for you. So you want those visuals to be engaging. You want your messaging, which is your text, to have stories that are relatable to people. You want testimonials to build trust. And you want to really just have client-focused messaging so that it speaks to those people that are in your target audience. And there definitely is an art to that. And we provide the visuals and the messaging at JAG Media.
I love that. And you know why? Because in the work that I do, which is aligned in a different way with what you're doing, that anybody, everybody, anyone, boom, it doesn't apply unless we really get to know our target audience. And sometimes it's generational, but it's at different times and different segues that you utilize that target audience if it's different. But because everybody, everyone, and anyone is not going to compute for most of us most of the time. This is really unbelievable information that we all need to hear, even if we know it, and have it resound back and forth from time to time because we get lost. Janet, I'm going to take a quick little reset. There's so much going on in this camp here, but you're going to be put backstage in the green room, and then I'm going to be back with you in just a second. And while we're out, I'm going to show you a graphic because I want people to get a screenshot or a snapshot of that. So hold tight. And friends, what I want to share with you here and now is that if you're not a member of Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Janet is, you need to belong with us because whatever it is that you're about, whatever the work is, you are among the change makers, and we need your vision, mission, and your purpose. And we can't wait to have you join us there because we're about collaboration. We're about connections. We're about supporting and making change with and for each other that will enlighten each other. So that said, there's a Style Me quiz that I have for you. And I want you to make sure you get a screenshot or a snapshot or take however it works for you, because this quiz is the beginning of your honesty. If you want to show up and own the room, power is one of my favorite words, but only when it's used in the right context. Makes all the difference in the world. So take a screenshot or a snapshot. And the other little bit of news that I want to share with you, and I'll be sharing with you again, is that we're going to take a little hiatus again. But there's mad reason for it, because there's so much major transition going on in my life right here and now. House up for sale, looking for a new place, wanting to set up a real professional studio, but getting all of the first things done, which is the house sold and finding a new place. So I'm taking the month of, and there's a lot of packing up to do here because we've been here forever. And I want to show briefly Janet's graphic. Please, I don't like to beg, and I don't beg. Take a screenshot, take a snapshot, because this lady knows her stuff. I know you've heard that before, but I only bring to you people that I know heart and soul for me are at the top of the integrity pole. And so you won't regret making an assignment with her. And even if it's not for you, you might know someone who might be able to use her services. And that said, Janet, back to you, because one of the things that we left with is content creation. But the other thing that I learned, most everyone knows about SEO, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the thing that I got from you that I had forgotten about and I had heard about some time ago was this ADA accessibility code. I don't think many website design, or maybe it's just me, but tell us a little bit about that, because all of a sudden I realized, whoops, I need that.
It's important. So ADA is American with Disabilities Act.
Yeah. Yes.
And you can actually expand your business by making your website more accessible, whether people are sight or hearing impaired or disabled in some other way. There's a lot more ways than we actually know about. So inclusivity really matters, and it can grow your audience. That's the main thing. You want to have things, like readable fonts and keyboard navigation through tools that make your website compliant. And when I do say compliant, that means avoiding legal issues, because in the past year, there have been a number of businesses that have been sued because they're not ADA compliant. And it's not here to scare you or anything, but if I can tell a little story really quick, I had a client last year. He's in the life insurance industry, and he's like, Janet, my website's not compliant. This was one where somebody else had designed his site. I do the hosting for him. And he's like, I don't want to get sued. What can I do? So I wanted to find the absolute best solution for him that worked, and for all of my other clients as well. And I found an amazing tool that I can offer through Jag Media that puts your website into compliance. It's really easy to do when I do it for you, and you can have that compliance right away. So it's really important to have that in terms of expanding your audience base, as well as to avoid legal issues.
I like that, because one of the things that I'm all about, Janet, and I know you are too, in the same and maybe a different way, but it's all aligned. It's all for one and one for all. I don't want to leave anybody out. We're never for everyone and everybody, but yet whatever we do, if one wants to be able to access it, they ought to be able to regardless. So that's why it appealed to me. And the next thing that you talk about is everywhere now. Everybody's talking about it. I'm getting excited about is AI. So how do you incorporate that into a website?
That's right. AI, artificial intelligence. It's been the hot button topic for at least a year now. The really cool thing that you could do with it, Joy, is you can use it to generate content. You can quickly create blog posts, headlines, and marketing copy. And since you mentioned SEO, search engine optimization, which is one of the key areas, I mean, we could spend a whole show on it easily, but creating blog posts on a regular basis, which means twice a week. That is optimal if you want to boost your visibility online. So you can use it to create blog posts and other things. But the thing you have to realize is you have to personalize it. You have to learn how to do prompts that are targeted towards your audience. And with ChatGPT, which is what I use, it learns. It can learn what those is and just spit out whatever it is that you need, but you always need to check it for accuracy. You need to put your personal touch on it so that it doesn't sound like, 500 million other people that are asking the same question. So make sure you put your personal stamp on it and make sure that you work on what are called your prompts first. So it's kind of like Chat GPT gets to know you. So it's almost like you're having a little conversation with Chat GPT. So they get to know who you are and who your audience is. So it's really about, personalization is really huge. So you can have personalized content, and it just makes it a lot easier for you.
I like that. I like that personalized because I think we all need that in every area of our lives, really. There's so much of the sameness here. And I have a lot of different coaches that I work with because I'm a perennial ongoing student and learning. But it's not that getting ready to get ready. It's I like learning and then utilizing it. And I have someone now, Janet, who said to me, and all of us in the group, AI is great, but don't let it take your mind, heart, and soul away from you. And what you just said, you have the AI get to know your flavor, flair, and flow using your verbiage and all of these common words that you see everywhere, unleashed, unlocked, and so on. You can tell that they're using it. Use your verbiage. And that's exactly what you spoke to. And I like that. That leads us to almost the end of what you gave me in the 7 keys, a lead magnet. We all want that. So tell us a little bit. And most everybody kind of, and I don't like most, but well, most, some, many do know what is a lead magnet, and how do we finalize and utilize it in the best way?
Okay, so a lead magnet is typically it's like a freebie. It's a downloadable ebook or a webinar or a free report that is on your website. So you want to offer it in exchange. The person who's downloading it will give their email, as I mentioned before, with the call to action. They'll
Mhm.
fill out a little form, and then they will be automatically added to your email list. So they get to learn something from you, and you want to make sure that it's content that people actually want, and that's called the top of your funnel. So a funnel's like this. So you bring in people first with something that is free. And just for if you go to my website, jagmedia.net, you'll see on the
Mhm.
homepage that I have a free ebook. It's website related. These are the 5 things to avoid with your website. So that's free. You can go and you can grab that. It can also be something else, like signing up for a webinar. Um, there are a lot of different things that you can use, but you want to make sure that it's something where you are genuinely giving, you're giving something of value to people. And, for people who don't have a website, this is really a key area when you and I work together in my Done With
Mhm.
You course. It's called Help I Need a
Mhm.
Website.
Mm.
I'll help you get your website going and gain clarity on what your lead magnet could be and really what is a good way to work that lead magnet. So, for example, in my lead magnet, you'll see a call to action in it for a one-on-one conversation with
Yes.
me. So, yeah, and you're going to sign up with my calendar tool that I use. And that's also something I talk about. What's the best calendar tool to use? So it's integrating all of these different pieces so that you are bringing on clients. Well, really, it's quality leads that can eventually lead to clients. It doesn't mean every single person will be, but with all of those people coming to your website with your free offerings combined with great content, etc., they can lead to becoming clients. And that's where the cash comes in. Oh,
Oh,
and one thing I did forget to mention before, Joy, that's
yes.
really important. We were talking about visuals. Okay, so let's
Uh-huh.
get visual. Did you
Yes.
know that your brain processes images 60,000 times faster than any other data?
Wow.
Anything. So that's why the power of visuals is just so important. And you do have to have personalized visuals that do actually communicate and attract your target audience. And that's what I help people do.
I love that. I love that. And you said something about a lead magnet that most of us know, but we need to hear it over and over. Content, creative content that the people that you're working with or wanting, desiring to, that they need, that they want. Need and want are 2 different words. So, you qualify contingent upon your audience. And the other thing that really, for me, is paramount is that what does your website need and how do you align with people to get them to realize that they need to do this in order to get their website to be a cash machine. I mean, we've gone over these 7 keys pretty much quickly, but we need to incorporate all of those in order to get that website to become a cash machine. Is that correct? Yes.
That is correct.
Yeah. Well, listen, let me ask you this, because you mentioned the Done For You workshop. Tell us a little bit about that, because the time flies here and we're almost at the end. But what is it that you're offering? We're going to put up your poster again, Help, I Need a Website. Boom. But tell us
Yeah,
a
so
little bit about
that's
that
for
Done For
somebody.
You.
Sorry, that's for somebody who doesn't have a website yet, and you can
Mhm.
get started with a professional foundation. I make it easy for you so that you can have a website in record time. We will work together. It's a live online course and it's a group course. We'll be working together from day one. I will help you set up the best website builder tool that's combined with hosting, and it's really inexpensive. I've used it for my clients and they love it too. So I get you set up from day one. And then in our second weekly class, we're going to get into design right away. So I make it really easy for you. You don't have to worry about all the tech stuff or, what do I do next? Because I'm there. I can answer your questions and I'll lead the way for you. So it's a really, I think it's a really fabulous course for anyone that needs a website. They want to get it done. They've been sitting there frustrated, or maybe they had, their
Want to tweak it?
kid or their neighbor or somebody else design a website for them. Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's been months and there's nothing there, or there is something there and they hate it. So
Or Janet, they have a website and they want to tweak it. They want to get it up to speed, up to par, and blah, blah, blah. But tell me this, when you have this online Done For You website, how much participation, how long is it? How many weeks, how many months? And we don't need to charge. You'll do that on your one-on-one, but how many weeks, months, and how much time are you allowed or do you spend with the person?
great. Thank you for asking. So it is four online sessions. They are each 1 hour and you get the video replay for it. And it starts in March. It is March 6th, or I'm sorry, March 4th is the first date of it. And you can check it out on the page that's there. It has all of the details. So
Mhm.
it's 4 sessions. So in 4 weeks, as long as you attend and you participate, you will have a website that is ready to launch.
And that's only for 1 hour, four
1 hour.
sessions?
That's
That
right.
that's great, no matter what the cost is. I mean, that's great because most people, even me, I love technology, but I'm not tech savvy and I don't have the time or the patience for it. But yet I admire it. I know when it's done right. There's that intuitive gut knowing. And what you started us off with, Janet, it resonated with my heart and soul. You just knew, and sometimes we just know that, especially if we're in that change maker, pioneer and category. We just know when something is right for us. And sometimes you can't verbalize it. You can't explain it, but you know that it is for you. I have to tell you that I'm always intrigued, ignited, and excited with people who have a much better grasp and knowledge on stuff that I don't have the patience for, but I have the love for. And that's you with website designing. So we will connect. The time flies here and it's almost over. But tell us what food for thought, what parting words, what takeaway. I mean, you've given us a lot of nuggets here today, but what do you want to leave people with? And then we're going to say goodbye for now, or so long for now. But what is
Sure.
the takeaway?
Yeah, I really want to help you to shine online. And when you work with me, we will cover all of those keys, from the layout and design, calls to action, uh, content that engages, search engine optimization, accessibility, AI, and lead magnets. So, yeah, take a look at my website and feel free to contact me. And by the way, my Done With You course called Help, I Need a Website has an introductory offer. So make sure to check that out.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Janet, there's so much more you and I could spend much more time together, but time goes here very quickly. But you have delivered some priceless platinum gems to us, and I'm grateful. We're going to shoot you into the green room, and I'll be back in just a second, so hold tight. Friends, the time flies here. It goes by so quickly, and there's so much in the hopper, so to speak. And my friends say, what the heck is a hopper? Well, you know what it is. It's a barrel, a jug, or whatever, whatever verbiage you choose to use. But we're taking a little hiatus the month of February. But we're not going anywhere. We will be back. Big shifts, bold moves, a new direction, fresh energy. That's what we're all about. And all the reasons for it and the transition you don't need to hear about, but you will. Just join us for the webinar, which will be February the 11th. Can't wait to see you there because I'm going to make sure. Janet mentioned several words tonight that are priceless. Your presentation, your personality, how you identify something to you that's indigenous to you and you only, that's what we need, even though today everything has changed. Nothing's going back in the day, the red carpet and dressed to the nines. Who has time? Yet your presence and your image and the appearance and the power that you bring to wherever you are, it still matters. And we're going to talk a lot about that because we're talking about change makers, people who are, Janet started off by saying, a digital pioneer. Pioneer, there's so many different names, doesn't matter. What matters is that you join us. And I can't wait to see you there. Until then, bear in mind, we'll be away the month of February, but we will be back in March. And we'll expect to see you, all of you, at the webinar, February the 11th. Much love, my friends. Be and stay well. And from my heart to your heart, all the love in the universe. Take care. Cheers.